everybody, it's Cat and Sid. I'm Cat.
I'm Sid. 今天又到了风宇宙时间，然后非常轻松的时间，我不用做任何准备。
Yes, I did all the 准备, so let's do it. The story that I am going to tell you about today is one of the most influential cases in UFO history.
Oh yeah?
Ooh. It's the 1960s in New Hampshire. We have Betty and Barney Hill. They're a married couple. It's of note that they are an interracial couple. So Barney is black and Betty is white. Barney is a postal worker. Betty is a social worker. So they're both government employees. And they're both active in the civil rights movement. They're pretty involved in their community, and for them, it's really, really important to have a good reputation because it's the 1960s. They're already an interracial couple, which is kind of like not a mainstream thing at all. It's like a lot of people were like looking down on that. One night, they were driving back from a vacation they were taking at Niagara Falls. So it's like a highway, there's nobody else there, it's nighttime. And they look at the sky and they see this like bright star, I guess? It looks like it's like a bright light. What's weird is like it starts to get like bigger and brighter and stuff. And then it starts like zigzagging around like this. They're like, what is that?
UFO!
Well, they're like, they don't really immediately want to think about it. They're like, oh, it's probably a plane or something like that. It was like the UFO kind of thing was still just, it was pretty much starting. So they see this thing, it's zigzagging around, it's getting bigger and brighter, whatever. And then it starts following their car, and it follows them for like 30 miles. They're like, okay, we have to pull over and investigate this.
Why? Just run away.
It keeps following them.
你知道那个美国那种电影，你就想象就是美国，比如西部电影，美国给我的感觉是那种，你想象这个画面中心是条高速，然后旁边全是沙漠，就很恐怖啊！你就想象那样子，还有飞碟在跟，那就跑啊！
But
为什么要停啊？停了就完。
Here's the difference. Like, they're in New Hampshire. It's the woods. It's like to me, it's like even more creepy.
Yeah.
So Barney, he gets out of the car and he's like, he's got his binoculars, right, like this. What he sees is like huge, spinning, pancake-shaped craft, this row of windows on it. And he sees like 8 to 11 gray figures looking down at him. And he's like, what the He runs back to the car and he's just like yelling at his wife. He's like, they're gonna capture us! So he runs back to the car, they're in the car, they start to drive off, but the car starts like vibrating like this, and they start feeling this like tingling sensation, and then their minds start to like go fuzzy. The next thing that they knew is like they're 35 miles away from where they had pulled over, and just like mysteriously 2 hours had passed, but they didn't have any memory of what happened. They were maybe thinking it could have been like a dream or something. But they get home, they're just like, okay, we'll just go to bed, whatever, you know.
Just go to bed.
So, you and I, of course, we're alien enthusiasts, right? So the first thing, you hear this type of situation, the first thing that you think of is alien abduction. But just think about it, in the 1960s, this kind of thing didn't exist.
我听说那个灰色the Greys, they are the low level alien. It's like Grey is the high level aliens robot kind of thing. They sent Greys to the Earth to like watch us. Even higher civilization, they're not gonna just come to Earth.
Yeah.
Come to this trash Earth to.
I know, they're probably like, what is this trashy ass? What?
Grey.
She's gray! As I was saying, this is what they knew what happened to them. When they came home, they felt really gross. They felt like they had been violated somehow. Betty's dress had been like ripped somehow, and it had some kind of like weird pink powder on it that she couldn't explain. They knew that on the trunk of their car, these weird like shiny circles, not anything that could be explained by like a car accident or anything like that. And they also knew that like when they moved, they put like a compass nearby these little circles, and it started spinning like crazy.
There's something like pink powder.
Yeah.
And her dress is like
Just like ripped.
And they feel violated?
Right.
I feel the answer is obvious now.
What?
The pink powder is
What?
Okay, what's pink powder then?
That it's a mystery. We don't know what the pink powder is. They know, but they did do tests on it later. They know that it's not either of their DNA. It's some mysterious protein. So what they also knew was whatever happened on that night just was seriously affecting their emotional well-being in like a really, really like bad way. For example, Barney. He was like normally he was a very happy guy, but suddenly after this night, he just was riddled with anxiety and depression. He was sober and he started drinking heavily in order to deal with this. And Betty started having these like crazy dreams in which it's like they got brought up to the spaceship and then they had these intrusive medical exams, you know, inflicted upon them. For example, like they stuck a big needle in her stomach. You know what I mean? So basically, they really needed some answers. So what they did is they went to a bunch of experts. So for example, they reported this to like an Air Force base that was nearby, and they had this whole interview with this major in the Air Force. They also talked to an astronomer who's like a UFO specialist kind of. And then of course they talked to a whole bunch of therapists. Basically, what all these experts seemed to be able to agree on was number one, this couple is not like making up this story for attention, and two, that they're like being really traumatized by whatever happened to them. The most compelling result of their working with an expert was the hypnosis sessions that they had with the psychiatrist, Dr. Benjamin Simon. Here's what's interesting is they actually recorded these sessions.
Oh, really?
And so I'm gonna listen to some clips of it. Once you hear it, I think you will get a pretty good sense of it. Okay, so.
That's creepy.
Yes.
What?
It's creepy.
Okay.
So this part is when he's remembering him first seeing this craft.
There it is up there. Oh, God. Calm down, it's there. But you can see it, but it's not going to hurt you.
The next part is just like him not wanting to believe that he's seeing it, basically.
Can somebody come and tell me this is not there? It can't be. It's there. You sure it's there? Yeah. You weren't having a dream. It's there.
Last part is just like, kind of shows you how disturbed he is by this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll dig in my head. All right. Pull the binoculars away. God, give me a strength. All right. Pull it down. Run. Pull the binoculars down and run. God. It's like, my God, give me strength. I gotta get away.
Oh my god.
Isn't that so creepy?
Sounds like there's no way he would be lying to this.
Right? So I feel like there are like three things basically that we can get from this recording. So number one, he did not want to believe that this was happening to him. It's like if you listen to other parts of the recording, he's not ever using the terminology of like, you know, alien stuff, UFO stuff, none of that.
Oh.
He's like calling it an airplane. Number two is the doctor also did not want to believe this. And so he was not using any leading questions. And the third thing is, you heard him screaming. Like, he is very disturbed by this.
Wait, only the husband was like traumatized?
I think Betty was also traumatized too, because in her hypnosis sessions, she also was like crying and screaming too.
就很多人看到 UFO 外星人这些东西，你会发现都是在西方。
Oh yeah.
但是你有没有想听一下中国人的版本？
Oh yeah, I do want to hear. If anyone has had an alien UFO encounter, please tell us. We want to know.
不管怎么私信留言，一定要非常详细。我记得杭州萧山机场有个新闻，什么外星人什么 就是
UFO。
对，那一瞬间这个事情闹得很大，但中国这种事情很少发生。
So basically, what happened was they brought them onto the ship. They took them to separate exam rooms.
Okay.
And so for her, it was like they examined all different parts of her body, you know, looking around and whatever. They like scraped some of her skin off with like a dull knife, she said. And the main thing was like they stuck a needle into her belly button, and it was like super painful, she said. And basically, they communicated to her that it was like a pregnancy test, basically. Another detail which is interesting is, so when Betty was like talking with the alien guy, basically, she asked him where they were from. So he showed her this kind of like a 3D map, like a star map. There was a person who researched this and was trying to figure out how to make sense of it. And she was able to roughly match it actually to a group of stars called Zeta Reticuli, which is rather intriguing, right? It's like
Send a robot there.
And then for Barney, it was like they took a sperm sample from him. What he remembered in the hypnosis was like they put a cup-like device over his genitalia, and then somehow it came out. But it wasn't like he said that it wasn't like he like.
Does it come out?
It was just like it came out. So the aliens clearly have like superior science. They're able to do that. Just like suck it out. Oh my god.
That's why they feel violated.
Yeah, that's why they felt violated. This is the core of the story. So I feel like the early stuff here is like really important. If they were just making this up, why would they do that? That's like goes against everything in their life. It's like not only are they an interracial couple where it's like they already need people to think that they are like, you know,
like
normal, respectable people.
所以就我听下去，他们的故事虽然没有我们今天听到的一些真实案例细节，但他们这是第一个。首先，他们依据什么来编出这个故事？第二的话，有时候真实东西反而细节会少一点，因为你后面要照这个故事的人就会根据他们这个故事这个例子，比如说测一下那个sperm，然后他们说那个 aliens 跟我来那个怎么样给我个孩子什么的 ，like very clear purpose。
Yeah。
就现在很多的外星人绑架或什么样的，说不定是听了他们的。
Oh yeah, it's literally like all based on this.
Oh really? That's why you said the most influential.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's the end of the story.
对了，我们最近在做一个线上英文课，然后7月7日正式开课，然后大家可以欢迎来报名，然后详细信息放评论里好了，欢迎来参加。
Yay, please! Don't forget to send us your alien stories, UFO encounters. Send it to us, please. We want to know. And we will see you guys next time.